Hey guys, how's everybody doing? It's me again. So I have um, this is the card video that shows every card that I will have included in my separate eBay listings. God, there's gonna be a lot of cards. Um, I have a unique booster pack video that I can give you guys a link for as well, for these booster packs, but this video here is for the cards. I may use this at some points, I may not. It's just a normal card for reference. But I'm going to go ahead and get into the stack of cards here. These are all well protected, and I'm going to be very gentle with them. I just took them out of their protectors and their penny sleeves for visual purposes. Alright, so here we have the Full Art GX Tapu Koko with part of a ho-ho on the right of it. I'm going to edit my focus on my camera. One moment. Just a second. Okay. Here's the Tapu Koko GX. That's part of another card on the right, and you can see the word basic is slashed off there. There's also, I believe that may be an alignment dot at the bottom. Let me get a close-up of that. Alignment dots are on the sheet in between cards. Changing my focus one moment. Let's see if it's on the back. I don't see it on the back. You should be a dot white spot on the back. Doesn't always happen though, sometimes it's just the front. So there's that. I will sleeve them as I go actually. I didn't really show you the back. I do want to. Put some whiting on the bottom, on the top. Very unique card. And this is nice and unique, so it has another part of a card on the right down here, cut very oddly down here, almost square cut at the top right and the bottom left, and cut very oddly here. You can see how the yellow's cut as well. And then there's the back of that card. This is a traditional square cut card on a rare variant card. The upper left and lower left are square cut, and the other sides are normal cuts. So I would say this is a partial square cut. Some people call it square cut with one corner. I would say it's partially square cut, because half of it is, half of it isn't. Still unique. This is a regular Evolutions Charizard card, holo rare, which have been going up in price recently, and it's off-center. It should definitely, if you submit it to PSA for grading, it should get a OC9, I believe, off-center 9 grade. There's some whiting on the corners, but it should get some sort of OC. I don't know if OC8 is a thing, or just regular OC. I don't know if it has to be OC9 or nothing, but that's definitely off-center anyway. You can see from the front and the back. The right side's thicker, left side's thinner, thicker. Same set, evolutions. Long story with these next 3 cards. So I went to my buddy's house, my buddy Michael Zantoro actually, on Facebook. I brought, it was either 2 or 4 evolutions packs for his 2 kids. And I told them, I said, if you get a Charizard, I'm taking it. I gave them free packs. They can keep everything. Besides, I take the code cards, and I take the, I told them I would take any Charizards they get. This was the only Charizard they got, but she opened it in front of me. There was nothing on the kid's hands or anything. And it had this, like, ink error in the upper right corner. Now I'm going to get a close-up on that. This is either an ink error or it's the material of the middle of a card. So the inside black material of a card. So you can see some white there. I actually think some of the black came off recently, which isn't good. But you can see that black there. It is elevated on the card, and then on the other side it's like kind of burny almost, because I'll show you the rest of it. But then where that black stuff is, it's almost like it was heated up at the time when it was on it in the factory. So yeah, they pulled that. And what's cool about this one, so I'll go ahead and sleeve that. See, this is great. I'm doing this when I started collecting these. When I pulled this, I don't think CGC was doing Pokemon, but now they are. So here is another card. So these next 2 cards I bought off of someone. These next 2 cards I bought off of someone, and it has the same exact material here. You can feel it. It comes up on the card. Everything else is normal about this card. But then this one in the back, it was connected to it. You know, this might be one of the few things that I will keep as a set. So these 2 I will keep as a set in the listing. So the 10-day auction will include these 2 as a pair for one listing. So that like matches up perfectly with these. So I'm going to go ahead and sleeve those. So I bought those off someone in the misprint group. They let me know they had them. And I loved it because it was perfect comparison. You know what I'll do? No, even better. You know what I'm going to do actually is these 2 as a pair and this Charizard are going to be one listing. The reason for that is I want the winner to be able to inspect this mutual error and a side effect of them, and to be able to have it all for like story purposes and visual inspection purposes and whatnot. So these will be a sets. These are all going to be individual for different individual eBay listings. These 3 cards will be one listing together as a triple pair. This card here, severely miscut reverse hollow common. Don't remember what set it's from, but you guys can ID it. The miscut is consistent on the front and back, because sometimes you get them when it's inconsistent, which I'll show you because I have examples of. This will be its own 10-day eBay auction. This Nuzleaf is similar to that one, and it actually has part of the silver of the next card up on the top. Let me get closer into that for us. Part of the hollow for the next reverse hollow, and it has that black alignment dot up there, which you can see the white portion of that alignment dot there. So there's that reverse hollow, very good card. Gonna have his own little auction on him. This Beldum has the next card underneath on it. And it's consistent on the backside. That top is nice and cut off. So that's not off center, that's miscut at that point, which is the next level. My first one I have an example of, this Vulpix. So this Vulpix either has a Ghastly or some sort of psychic Pokemon on top of it. And the bottom words and whatnot are cut off. So as you can see, the top is very thick. Do we have an alignment dot? Yes, we do have an alignment dot as well, which in the misprint group, that is big and noted with people. So that's a nice miscut card with another piece of card on it. And as a visual comparison, here is a normal Evolutions Vulpix. As a visual. This regular Vulpix will come with the good Vulpix. I'll do that to them. One sleeve is more than fine. Perfect. I have 3 miscut V's. Not off-center, but miscut. So as you can see, part of the words at the bottom are cut, and I'll flip it for us. Very thin on there, and it's all shifted. Is that an alignment dot? Not quite sure if that's an alignment dot or not. I don't think it is, but it could be. Actually, I think it is. I think that is an alignment dot. One of the more rare cases where it's more on the back than on the front, but I don't know, that's just my opinion. So I'm going to sleeve him. Very nice miscut card. That'll be its own listing. These next two are a pair, but they will be their own listings. That where the bottom, the whole entire copyright of that bottom is gone. So you can see the copyright words at the bottom here, but now like the whole black strip at the bottom is gone. And the back really, very severely cut. Excuse me. Same exact cut, I believe, or same type of cut to an extent. No copyright words or black border at the bottom. No alignment dot though. Oh, I think that was on the other one. Yeah, that was on the other one anyway. This has a visible alignment dot on both sides, which is cool. This one here has that dot there. Dot can be seen there with some unfortunate way. Pokemon card oddities, everybody. Clefairy, similar cut to those cards. Clefairy, hollow, rare from Evolutions. Mew, promo from 2000, the year 2000, which is off-center, very off-center. No alignment dot, but it's off-center. The bottom's thicker, and the right side's thicker on the back. So, but you can't really notice the side thickness on the front, but you can definitely see the bottom and the top. Nice, somewhat unique Mew, and it's nice that it's a Mew. Trainer Oak. Trainer Professor Oak with the same similar thing, but actually better, I believe. That's from, I believe, 1999. This is a real good one. Professor's research from one of the recent sets. Check that out. The front is normal, and the back is not only upside down, but it is miscut. So the front is so nicely and well centered, like any normal card that would probably get a like a 9 or 9.5 Beckett centering, and then that back is not only upside down on a new set card, but it's also shifted to the right. It's miscut as well. Couldn't just be upside down. Had to be moved over too. And also there's an alignment dot. Okay, so no alignment dot on the front, which makes sense, but then there's a white alignment dot on here, I believe. Yeah, to me that looks like an alignment dot. So, but it might not be, but I think it is. So yeah, there's that. That is a doozy. Something on that sleeve. Well, might have been using some old sleeves. Want to use some new ones. Very probable with stuff like this, that it could be one in the world, unless otherwise proven not. But then there's different levels of that. You can find a modern trainer. What set is it from? Is it the same card? Is it a different card, different set? Is the back upside down? Sure, but is it also shifted? Stuff like that. Because I know someone who has a card like this. It might be same set, might be different. I think it's a ho-ho that's kind of cut like this, but I looked and I don't know if the cut really matches up. But yeah, this is a more common, more simpler Evolutions Holo Rare Machamp that should definitely get the PSA off-center grade, and if it doesn't, well, it's still obviously actually off-center, left's thinner than the right, and that is visibly noticeable on the back as well. He'll have his own little auction. This GX card, the top is way thicker than the bottom, also has an alignment dot there, which can be seen on the white part backside there. And he's just a GX that would I believe would definitely get the OC9 grade. Some people think the off-centers with alignment dots are considered miscut. I don't know, some of that's debatable. These are both from Burning Shadows. This is for reference. Should have done this without the sleeve, but he'll have his own option. Whoa. Good thing that was a regular one. gentle. So that is like the other one we just seen, has some more extra at the top, less at the bottom, whereas this one is an example of a more normal one. And that can also be seen with that little extra on the top on the left card now. Nothing crazy major, I would say. I would say it would get the grade if it was flawless back. It is definitely off-center. That's in the lot, and this one for comparison will come with it. Alakazam. It's harder to see on GXs and way harder to see on EXs, but the top is way thicker than the bottom, but it mirrors on the back so you can see what it's talking about there. And that's about it for this card. Pretty good condition. Some whiting on the back, but he has that off-center effect. He'll have his own thing. I have two of these coming up, same as the Alakazam. It's just shifted. The print is shifted downward, or the cut is too far up, however you make it. On these EX cards. So, these will be separate. There will be number 1 and number 2. There'll be separate auctions, if anyone might be interested in those, on eBay at some point. Slowbro, the bottom is thicker than the top, which fortunately can be seen here, but not as good. This one I'm going to have to show you. So the left, the bottom, and the right top. So the right yellow border is thin, and the left yellow border with the water running through it, I know, is thicker. Left is thick, right's thinner. You can see it better like that. This Dragonite EX, the top is thicker than the bottom's thinner than the top, and you can more so see it in the back, but it mirrors the front in terms of the cut. This one's not different. So there's that. You know, I might set some of these up. I'm going to keep some of the card sets together. So, for example, these 4 coming up could be identified as a set. These are all from Hidden Fates, so I will keep these together as a set. Metapod with alignment dot. The Jesse and James didn't have it, but there it is in the upper right corner. Actually, you know what? I might separate them. I'm sorry. I am going to separate them. So even though they're a similar cut as if they're the same pack or something, I am going to separate them. Alignment dot in the upper right on the EV from Hidden Fates. I'm going to separate them. Sorry. Aside from the ones I already said that I wasn't going to separate, but these here and onward, as far as right now, I'm going to separate. Alignment dot in the corner on this. I think those were originally a set. Then these 2 Jigglypuffs. I'm not sure if this is a common ink error, but I guess it must be. But you got to do your own research and see how common. 'Cause I personally don't know, but if it's more common than regular ones, because that happens, there's more common error versions of things than there are fixed. But I don't have too much of those. So on the tails, there's an ink error. And on this one, on the tails, there's that same ink error, but a different style of it. I'll do that one more time. And one more time. Otherwise, is everything else about these cards are normal, these two Jigglypuff. So these three Jigglypuff will be separate listings. I'll sleeve those out. I shall sleeve them now, sorry. Two really good energy cards coming up. Stuff like the first energy card I get skeptical with, but it's such, like, the way it is. Everyone told me it's all good, so gave me confidence to include it along with the second energy. Even so, there's these Jigglypuffs, that specific error on Pokemon cards abroad hardly ever happens. So comparing it to more cards abroad. Coloring's weird on my screen, but that's a bad screen. So this energy card, I recommend going back to this video, maybe looking at it with a computer, with a phone, with someone else's phone, kind of getting different color comparisons than just one computing device. There's like a shade of green going here, and then the rest is blue like it should be. Back seems to be completely normal, but that front, very odd shades of coloring there. Could be a mess up with the ink, or it has to be a mess up with the ink on the press there, as far as I can tell. So this I was very surprised with. One of my buddies gave me this. He said he was sorting bulk. I'm getting everything here. I'm getting the money for. Besides I'm hoping to do 20% on the eBay donation for every single one of these listings individually. But I have to see if that's an option. I gotta still check for the 20%. I know 10% is the minimum, and 100% is max. So this, normal back, some whiting up there. So there's a piece of tape going across this that you can feel. It feels kind of sandy. And it cuts off here on the edge, doesn't go on the back. And I'll actually show you in the upper, I'll show you this lower left edge. Is how it kind of, the cut is. And then in the upper part, kind of chunks off, sort of. See if I can get that in better lighting. Yeah, see there? That's where the tape ends, where you see that darker line on the corner. So that's where the tape ends, aside from like the upper left of the tape that ends flush, and the lower right. But then the middle section of the tape doesn't end flush with the card. You can actually feel it too. So it looks like they printed over tape, and who knows how tape got on the top there. But the people in the misprint group confirmed that it should be real, and they said it's a, what did they call it? A obstruction. They said it's an energy card obstruction, or a obstruction on an energy card. So I'm like, hey, cool, because I personally didn't have faith in it. Like, there's one card in here that I don't actually even have faith in at the bottom here. I'm going to be very, very explicit with that, but it's going to be with these because other people love them and like them and stand by them, so it's all based off opinion. But yeah, that is ink error energy and tape obstruction energy. Moving on, traditionally off-center and or miscut, what have you, card here. They'll be individually put up. These are both hidden fates with a similar cut. Coughing, similar. Let's get these sleeved. These next four are kind of a set, but they will be sold individually. Bottom's cut there. The word Pokemon with the ear is cut. And the top, you get the alignment dot on the right and the green part of the next card over on the sheet. Actually, this is double alignment dot. You have an alignment dot on the right and an alignment dot on the left, which is cool. That makes it more rare compared to any Pokemon TCG card that has a dot to begin with. Just mind you guys that. Sorry, I'm clicking through my focus. And it shows part of the next card over on that green part. There's like a half of a white alignment dot on the left side here, I believe. I'd say so. And then the right side is mostly full alignment dot, like more natural half. That's what the back looks like. And that's the front one more time. The only Emolaga like that potentially, until other people start pumping out more. Charmander, same spiel with the Charmander, same set I think. Charmander's good though, to be off-center as much as that is. Maneki, same thing. Charmander has a very small alignment dot on the right and a bigger one on the left. Very small. Then there's a bigger one on the left. And that bigger one does have the white alignment dot. No alignment dot on the other side though. Because I noticed that because this has the double alignment dot on the left and right. So, there's that. There's some better ones coming. There's a kitten with both those alignment dots. First off, the bottom's gone, but then you got the alignment dots, of course. Oh, and I forgot the that professor's research is going to come with a regular professor's research. This professor's research will come with this normal one. Moving on. That one from an XY set, I believe. Nice and off center. No visible alignment dots. Same thing, and I believe same set. You can check the video though. But they will be separate listings. That's by itself, I think. Unique. And there's an alignment dot on that. Which a lot of people consider, some people don't care about it. Like, I don't care about it. This exact card I'd pay just about the same money. Like, I'd add on a little bit more for that dot, but some people would add on a lot more. Depends on your preference. This card has another blue card coming off the top of it. So the bottom, the word Pokemon is just 2019. Cut on the bottom. And then this blue to another Pokemon card on top with the alignment on the right and the left. Let's get those alignment dots. Dots on the left and right on this one. Word Pokemon's on the top. Not even on the bottom, just a little bit on there. No dot there, but there's a dot there. Almost done, almost halfway. I might try to breeze through some of the rest. There's a lot of whiting, I would say, on a lot of these. I'm not going to deny that. So just note that. Most product I deal in is near mint to mint, but the errors are an exception to that. These two. So left border is thicker than the right. Also the bottom is thicker than the top on this Salamence GX. And usually the left and right thing would be, actually no, that's right. Yeah, no, that's accurate. That lines up. Doesn't show the top and bottom thing as much on the back, but it still shows it. Mewtwo, the infamous Shining Legends Mewtwo, and the left side has more silver than the right side. Right side's cut more towards its black border, whereas the left side is double the amount of silver on the left. I suppose if you want to get technical, the top silver is thicker than the bottom silver as well, but don't want to get that technical with these GX cards. But yep, that left is thinner than the right side. Left's thinner than the right side, and then that top bottom thing you can see better on the back than you can the front, but it's there. My Pseudo-Wudo. Very unique little boy. So the Pseudo-Wudo The bottom's thicker than the top, but it's also rotated to the left. So the photo itself on the front, you can notice, is rotated to the left a little bit. So if I were to tilt it to the right, now the photo is standing up straight, but the card's tilted to the right a little bit. Now I'm going to tilt it to the left again. Now the card's standing up left and right normal, but the picture is leaning towards the left a little, this way. So that's the thing with that. And you can also see it on the back. So the back, it kind of tilts like, I would say tilts to the right a little bit. Now it's not as noticeable as the front, but it is kind of, so the right and bottom are thicker. The bottom right and the bottom are thicker, and the upper left and top are a little thinner. Or no, I'm sorry, the lower portion here is thinner. So, that's the thing. Yeah. It's on like a this way diagonal. Not that much, but that's what it's doing. Slightly rotated. This is a common reverse hollow rare Shining Legends where the bottom and the right are thicker than the top and the left. Same here, the bottom and the left are thicker than the top and the right a little bit. This isn't really that crazy. The front is better than the back. I mean, depending on how much justice you want to give the photos. But it's something I noticed, so I threw it in. This one's better than that, but it's a common, but it's XY, I like that better. The left is thinner and the right is thicker. Same mirror on the back. Can't see it as much, but it's still there. These two are reverse hollow trainers from different sets, both 2017. The top is thinner than the bottom, so top's thinner than bottom, making that off center. Now it's not anything crazy. You can see it on the back, you can more so see it on the front, the yellow border. But it's a reverse hollow, not a regular. One is a trainer, two is a reverse hollow. Same goes for this. Top is thinner, bottom's thicker. Slightly off center, I would say. There are some bangers. Don't leave. Look at that. Just kind of like those V's in a way. The bottom words, just like some of the packs, the bottom words are on top of the card instead of the bottom. There's an alignment dot on the left, not so much on the right. And the bottom words are gone because they're on the top. This card's bottom words are gone, and another card's are on the top of it. And that for visual reference. Is there a dot? There is no dot on the back. There's some whiting on the back corner, but there's no alignment dot present on the back of that one. This will be separate from the next one, which kind of goes with it. A reverse hollow with the next card over. It's more dramatic. With a, has another water reverse hollow over it. So it's a deeper cut than the last one. So much better, because it's a starter Pokemon, it's a reverse hollow, and then it has more cut to it than its predecessor. But who knows, maybe someone might like Yamper way more than Score Bunny. I doubt it, but who knows. Oh, and this trainer. This goes with those two, I guess. Reverse Hollow Trainer. This is more common with Pokemon, less common with Reverse Hollows, less common with trainers. As far as I've seen, just because, you know, there's obviously the last. Stunfisk. The top and right are thinner, the left and bottom are thicker. Left and top are thinner, right and bottom are thicker. Noticed that last minute, and it's kind of an inside joke with somebody. I know. Stunfisk, hashtag Stunfisk Army. Just kidding. Okay, at the final stretch here. I have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. I have 15 red dot apple and error cards. These are found in some, not all, Rebel Clash pre-release kits. Rebel Clash Build and Battle kits. Sword and Shield. And essentially, he has a red dot on the words, and there are way more from the packs and the kits, fixed versions, than there currently are error versions. But there are still a good amount of error versions there, and that I told you that's where you can find them. You won't find these in the booster pack, you'll find them in the little promo 40 card decks or whatever they are. I'm just going to say, so I mean, one regular will go with one, and then the rest won't come with one. I mean, I should have took the time to get a normal one, but they're very easily to obtain yourself, so you'll have no problem getting that. That one's great condition. This has a rim ding. This has some whiting. That one's great condition. This has some whiting. That one's great condition. Has some whiting. Has some whiting. When I say some, I mean a very small amount. Has some whiting. Like, these are all near mint. Great condition. Has a little white spot. Has a little white spot. Has a little white spot. Little white spot. And let's see. Little white spot. These are near mint. And these four will be labeled as near mint, to mint, near mint, dash mint, or at least, actually, no, you know what, if I carefully inspect the corners and whatnot, they're all going to be labeled near mint. None of them are mint. You would get some PSA 10s, but you'd get a little more than half as PSA 9s. So a little more than half I expect to be PSA 9s if they were regular cards and were to get graded, but they would be a little less than half would be 10s, and most of them would be 9s. So, my opinion there. Save the rest. 2014 Kyogre and Groudon promos. These are all near mints. You can see, so I'll show you. Here's Kyogre, here's Groudon. You can see Kyogre's right arm shadow on the back of Groudon. You can also see his other fin. And for Kyogre, you can see Groudon's arm and Groudon's foot, I believe. No, not his foot. You see Groudon's arm and Groudon's whole head and face. So the back shadow of Groudon is in Kyogre, and the back shadow of Kyogre is in Groudon. These are all near mint copies, and I can tell you exactly what I have. I have 2 error Kyogres that have part of Groudon in them. I have 3 Groudon errors that have part of Kyogre in them. And then I have 2 copies of Kyogre and 2 copies of Groudon that are the fixed versions. We don't, I believe, currently know, because this was, I think, recently discovered in the groups a couple months ago. These are XY promos for at least 2 different XY sealed product too, I think, through my research. This is one of the ones that could be, I don't think we currently know, is the error version more common or the fixed version more common? We don't know, I don't think. So, these, how am I going to do these? Let me think. Alright, so what I will do is I will have one Groudon, his own listing, an error Groudon and a fixed Groudon as a listing, error Groudon and fixed Groudon as a listing, and error Kyogre and fixed Kyogre and error Kyogre and fixed Kyogre will be the combined listings for those. So there'll be, out of these 7 cards, there'll be 5 listings. No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Out of these 9 cards, there'll be 5 listings. The error and the corrected, the error and the corrected. Twice, and then the single extra Groudon error. Oops. Don't know what's the more common or uncommon one, but there's some history with that, definitely, no doubt. On to the last 5 cards, or the last 6, I mean. You guys can take the codes. I think this one's never been taken, so go ahead and try it. This code card is one of those that it was printed the other way. So this is supposed to be down here and turned around. So this code here and this barcode and this longer code is supposed to be not only down here, but it's upside down as well, printed over this part. I can show you a regular code card, for example. That's what a regular code card should look like. White one as well. I ripped the wrong one, right? Okay. 2 crimped code cards. The crimp is from the booster pack, and those little guys are going so fast that the crimp that's supposed to seal the pack shut hits the card, and then it makes it become a crimped card. So there's the front crimps on these 2 code cards. I have like a couple more of these, but I can't find them, so they won't be included. Those will be 2 separate listings. The one that's more crimped and the one the crimp runs off the edge. Then a crimped Magikarp I pulled myself. First and like only crimp card I pulled myself, aside from the code cards I can't find. There's that crimp on there. It's a factory defect, factory error, so to speak. Those will all be separate. Okay. This card is an extra. You guys should pay attention to this part. This Diglett, this 2000, the year 2000, base set 2 Diglett, I would kind of stay away from myself. I only have this Diglett due to the fact that it was in a bundle lot I purchased, because I always like bundling up if I can. I didn't want it at first. I don't. They call this an albino card, and it's more so seen on the older cards. Now, with an albino card, it means that the border and the picture are faded. Here is my problem with albino cards, is that I believe if you use a good enough lamp or leave it out in the sun, that you can duplicate albino cards. It's kind of like toning on coins, but you can make your own toning with putting a coin in liquid and electrifying it in certain chemicals, or leaving it in the sun in a holder for a long time. So I personally don't trust this albino Diglett, but there's a good amount of people that collect albino cards, and they heed everyone's warnings, and they're like, nah, but it's legit, and they still collect them. So for that reason, it will be available for bid. I would prefer this sells the least out of everything. But if there's a collector of albino cards, go for it, man or woman, and I'm happy it's going to go to you. This is an extra. It is a George Zimmer, New York Yankees second baseman, card number 591, 1978 Topps chewing gum baseball card. Now, I have no clue if this is common or not for this set, that it is miscut with another card's stars showing. It would be great if it's not common for this set, so baseball card collectors can jump on this. But I have no clue. Maybe it is common for it to be cut like that. All I know is it has printed stars, assumingly, hang on, let me click through, assumingly from another card. They look like 5-point stars. So I found that in my baseball card bulk. So, going to include that. It's in pretty good condition, especially from being thrown around in my room from being in middle school. It's in pretty good condition. Good sleeve for it. Ba-bam. That'll be the end of everything, and that concludes, thank you guys for your patience, that concludes my error card video. For the most part. Again, these will be separate 10-day eBay auctions. Every single one of them will have 20% go to a charity. I'm going to try to use all of the charities that are available for the eBay charity thing, and just kind of sort of at random select the different ones. And I think you can read what charity it goes to in the listing. I'll confirm that. If not, I'll specify in the description or something. So yeah, saw the uniqueness of items like these and went, gotta get them. And then I said, I'm broke because of this and I want a new car and to move out of the house. And I'm like, yeah, time to sell everything at once. So I appreciate every one of you that have watched. Yeah, I'll see you soon. Thank you. Be sure to check out the booster pack video, which will be linked here. My YouTube and eBay will be linked, and just watch my eBay for the auctions. Let me think. Let's think of a time. Okay. The auctions will launch Tuesday at, I read a note for myself. Auctions will launch Tuesday 8/18. Let's do Wednesday. Wednesday 8/19. There'll be 10-day auctions. No reserve. Starting bid will be 1 penny USD. Probably going to tack on $5 shipping for everything, but I will be combining shipping. So we'll figure that out. So if you win if you win like 4 different items in all of these auctions, or like 10 different items, you'll only be charged for shipping once. So yeah, thank you guys.